JB Mathers here, another edition of Humboldt All-Axess, and we got a dandy on this fall graduation in Lumberjack Arena. All right, Michelle Bento-Jackson, she joined us. We're breaking down the good and the bad and league play and how do the girls deal with the holidays. Plus, we've got freshman sensation Jordyn Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, she's the real deal. That interview is a blast. The one and only DJ Broome, and then we're finishing strong, hopefully not getting in a headlock with Coach Zalesky. Pleasure to be joined by Michelle Bento-Jackson, head coach for Cal Poly Humboldt women's basketball. Dan Pambianco always used to get mad at me. JB, there's no lady. Doesn't say lady on there, so I'll try to get it straight. I digress. Coach, I've seen you play 3 times now, and it's just been a bloodbath, and it's been a good kind of those. Let's just talk about the game Monday versus St. Martin's. I mean, in the end, it felt like a blowout because it was never that close, but it was all because of your defense. You just didn't let them score.
Yeah, no, we did. That was definitely maybe our best half-court defensive performance so far this year. And I had really challenged the girls to start off extremely aggressively because we weren't so happy with our half-court defense the previous game. So they definitely answered my challenge. They responded, and I was really proud of them.
It's got to make you feel great as a coach, right? When you challenge the players and they respond, because it is easier said than done.
It 100% is, and that's usually a choice, and they made the right choice for our team, and I was just really pleased with their performance.
And it just seems like every night we're gonna have Jordyn Smith on a letter. She's consistent. Well, let's just do that. Let's jump in. Let's talk about your freshman sensation, because she's just like an automatic double out there. And I just love the game face. She's never too high. She's never low. She just plays.
You're absolutely right, and I don't know, maybe it was 3-4 weeks ago, I had a conversation with her and just telling her that, yeah, you're a freshman, but I don't really care that you're a freshman. In other words, you're gonna need to grow up, and you're gonna grow up really, really fast. And I think back about that conversation because she has definitely responded to that challenge, and you're right, she's just consistent. You never know if she's too high or too low, and I think that's really a credit to her for being as young as she is, and to keep her composure and her poise out on the floor is remarkable.
So what's gonna be the hardest part for someone like that? Just the mental grind of the season, the maturity part, or the fact that she can play a lot more games than she did in high school?
A lot more games, a longer game. We play a very, very different style than she played in high school.
Okay.
She pretty much played 2-3 zone her entire high school career, so this is very, very different for her. So many adjustments and transitions, and she is just like a sponge, total joy to coach. Anything I tell her, she's just like, okay, and she's just gonna continue to get better. So probably the mental side of this, as far as the travel and the amount of games and all that, I'm sure is gonna get taxing to the younger ones at some point, but that's kind of my job to keep them focused and to keep them going.
All right, another Satika, to me, she kind of embodies she just seems to be 110% 24/7. I'm gonna throw all the cliches out there, but she goes.
You're right, and you're going to say embodies what we want to do, and you're absolutely right. I mean, and I think everybody feeds off of that. And as you can see, we're playing faster, and just our intensity this year is much greater, and the girls are bought into that. And that makes my job a lot easier, because what they're doing is not easy, to play with that type of pace and that type of intensity for the duration of the game. But they've bought in, and we'll just continue to get better.
All right, clearly, there's been ups and downs early in the season. Now you're going to take the show on the road. It's league play again. How do you get the consistency on the team that I've seen, opposed to the team that hasn't been able to put together a full 40 minutes?
You're absolutely right, and that is the task at hand. And we've only had one road game up to this point, which was at Biola, and our energy was not the same. And we were not pleased with our performance. So between finals ending, 2 games on the road, conference games, going home for Christmas, I got a big job ahead of me here to keep these guys, their spirits up, them positive, and really for the most part, and I'll be talking to them today, is just they got to stay locked in for these next 5-6 days, and we got to take care of business.
Coach, I know you're going to have that talk with them, or you have that talk with them today. Just take us behind the scenes a little bit, because there's a lot on their mind outside of basketball. You said it, finals, mom, dad, Santa, just travel too. It's not a fun travel trip, because you're going to, you've got 2 plane flights involved, and there is really no off day.
There really isn't, and as you said, this is the one trip that we have a Southern, California opponent, and then we have to come back to Northern California. So it's tough. It's tough, but we're going to learn a lot about ourselves, and we're going to need to be real mature and just keep the task at hand and be locked in. And we got to make the most of it because this is a business trip.
What, in your opinion, over all your years playing coaching, what does it take to be successful, and why is it harder on the road? I mean, there's a reason Vegas gives home teams more points than the road team.
Absolutely. I mean, outside of, I don't know how much, people talk about, oh, you're not sleeping in your own bed, you're not well, I don't know how much I play into that because I think our girls probably sleep better in the beds in the hotels, and we're feeding them better than they do on campus. So I don't know if those are excuses, but it's just tough. We're not in the energy of home. We're not in the, being comfortable in our own arena with the baskets, the fans, the crowd, the community. For us here at Humboldt, I mean, that definitely plays a part for sure. But we got to bring our own energy, and we got to feed off of each other.
And then how hard is it, too, as a coach, knowing that, this team that you've built, this energy you've got going, you're forced to take a little break here pretty soon, too.
Yeah, that's never comfortable for me, but we're all in the same boat, and at the same time, it's going to be a nice break. Again, we have so many new players, and as we mentioned a moment ago, just the challenges of the season and how long it is and how taxing. It's kind of nice that they do get this week off, go home, kind of decompress, spend time with family and friends, regroup, and then we'll get after it when they come back.
All right, Coach, excited to see the team. Friday night, San Marcos. Sunday afternoon, it is at Cal State Monterey Bay. She is Michelle Bento-Jackson. I'm JB Mathers, back with Jordyn Smith right after this on Humboldt All-Axess. Pleasure to be joined by the freshman sensation. I think too young to be the queen of the double-double, so we'll say princess of the double-double. Jordyn Smith joining us. Jordyn, let's just jump right into it. You've been great to start the season. How do you attribute your early success?
I mean, honestly, it just all goes back to my teammates, and I think I said this in an interview we had before, but I'm just kind of there, and they get me the ball, and, I finish the shots, but it all goes to them.
Yeah, a lot of players in today's day and age, they have a big shot, big score, big block. It's look at me, it's this, it's that. And then I look down at the score sheet and I'm like, oh, wow, look, Jordyn's got another double-double. She's got 5 blocks. You're very business-like. Would you agree with that statement?
I think so, yeah. I try not to do all the flashy stuff or celebrate really hard, Might stick my tongue out here and there, but I'm not a big flex on you person.
All right, tell us about your game and just making that adjustment from high school here to the collegiate level.
I mean, honestly, I feel like my game is pretty similar to what it was in high school. It's just I do have to be a lot stronger and a lot more efficient at the college level. But I would just say mostly post-ups. Obviously, rebounding has been part of my game, hence the double-doubles. But, yeah, just...
Now, Coach just got done telling us that she had a talk with you recently. He says, I don't care you're a freshman because I'm not going to treat you like a freshman. You are a freshman. So tell us about the other side of that conversation and just trying to move beyond your years. But also, look, I mean, you're what, 18, 19? You're a freshman. So how are you supposed to not be a freshman at 17? Okay, no, but what was it like for you when you heard that from Coach, and how do you try to respond?
I mean, honestly, it felt really good to hear that because I feel like a lot of people do have low expectations for me because of my age, but it was great to know that she does put that amount of trust in me and that she has those high expectations, and it was honestly just a challenge, and it was kind of I need you to step up, and I feel like we have this conversation a lot. She's always telling me to step up and do more, and I feel like I keep doing more and more and more, and it's great that she feels the confidence to put that in me.
Talk about your teammates, as you had mentioned. It's got to be fun to play around guards, forwards who, I mean, they're just flying around. They play at a very hard pace. They move the ball well, which has got to make it fun for you at the 5 to be a beneficiary of that. So how do you benefit from their play?
I mean, the biggest thing is on our press. I feel like I don't have to do a whole lot because they're always up there, they're working. But I mean, how it benefits me, I gotta think. Well, when I get the ball, obviously I'm always looking to score. I'm always looking to try to, score, I guess. But it's great to know that they're always moving and they're always trying to get open in case I do need them on the kick out. And it's just really great. We're really starting to kind of mesh.
who are fives, whether it's the women's game or the men's game, that you kind of looked at growing up, or even now as you're only 17, to say, hey, this is whose game I really like, and I think I could be like so-and-so?
Honestly, my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, she played at UCLA, and then she played for the Sparks for a season, so she coached me a lot growing up, and we did a lot of workouts, especially leading up to college, and I feel like she's taught me all of her moves. She's taught me everything I know, and I'm just kind of trying to embody her in my game.
All right, now your doctor robbed you out of the 1 percentile. That's a story for another time. Look, mom's tall, dad's tall. Sounds like at a young age you probably knew basketball was for you. Was that the case? Did you feel destined to be a basketball player? Or was there a time and place like, gee, everyone thinks because I'm going to be tall, mom played, that I have to play?
Honestly, no. I played a lot when I was younger. I started playing when I was 5, but then a few years after that, I quit for a while. And then I got back into it in 7th grade, actually because of one of our volleyball players here, Emma Foth. We went to middle school together, and she recruited me to be on her team, and that's how I got back into it. But for a long time, I was like, no, I want nothing to do with basketball. Like, that's not going to be my future, and here we are.
That's doing pretty good so far. Okay, how did Coach Bento-Jackson, how did Coach Bloss, how did they find you? How did they recruit you? How did they get you here on campus?
Honestly, I don't know how they found me, but probably from film. I had a really great AAU coach, Joy Best, and she was really hard-hitting for coaches. She would reach out to hundreds of coaches every day, so I'm sure that's how they got to me. But we just had, Coach Bloss and I had a lot of phone calls prior to me speaking to Coach B, and I just really liked his vibe. I really liked the things he was telling me about the school and about the program. And then when I talked to Coach B, it just felt really natural. And then on my visit here, I just fell in love with it.
And you're from Tigard, Oregon, so the rain doesn't bother you at all.
Not really, no. This
All right,
is natural.
talk about this team. You guys, I've seen you 3 times, you've been dynamite, but you look at the record, you do have 4 losses. What does this team need to do to play at that high level more consistently as you head into league play where, these games are they're gonna matter?
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's not huge things that are like causing these losses. It's just little things that we need to lock in on, like being in help side or, trapping off the press, just all of these like little, especially defensive things that we need to just like stick to, and then it'll start translating to wins.
All right, Kevin Johnson, I've talked to him a few times, and he's really trying to get through to his guys how to rebound, how to be shot blockers. What advice do you have for the fellas to stack that, to stuff the stat sheet like you do?
Honestly, just box out. I feel like a lot of them, like, I wouldn't say I box out every time. I am guilty of missing a few of them, but I mean, they just kind of stand and watch the ball. They got to box out and just be in the right spot at the right time.
Pay attention. Worth the price of admission right there. Jordyn, good luck on the road this weekend, and appreciate your time stopping by.
Thank you so much.
Jordyn Smith joining us. DJ Broome, head coach of the Cal Poly Humboldt men, joins us next. It's all right here, Humboldt All-Axess. Pleasure to be joined by head coach of the Lumberjacks, DJ Broome. Coach, kind of a wasteland for you right now as far as, I guess not for you, because you're out recruiting, you're doing all the stuff, and you're still coaching every day. For the fans, a little tough. We got a little taste of the Jacks. Finally at home, you split, left us wanting more, and we don't get to see it home again until January next year. But just walk us through again how it felt to finally be at home in the homestand. The guys got to experience just a magical, not magical, but they played really well, looked great against Stanislaus, and just how hard it is to bring it 2 straight nights, and in the end, Merced got the best of you guys on that Saturday.
Yeah, no, it definitely was nice to be at home. Like I said, there's nothing like sleeping in your own bed on a game day before and after. So our guys were excited on Thursday. Like you said, we played really well against Stanislaus, who's a good team, and I think that plays into why we played well. I think they look across and go, that's what players look like and what a good team looks like. So, yeah, we were excited, we were focused, and obviously we kind of put it together on both sides of the ball. And then on Saturday, which has kind of been our Achilles heel, it's the same thing. You come and you have stretches where you're really bad and you're not focused. They build a big lead, you erase it really quickly, but don't have enough in the tank to finish it at the end of the day. So we got to mature, we got to figure that out because, this far, that's kind of been our story, is giving away games.
Right, that's what something we've talked about all year. Is it's one of those deals that the good news, bad news is when you guys haven't played your best, it's on you. It's not that you've been dominated by some other opponents. So with that said, there's going to be a lot of times this year you guys are going to play Thursday nights and turn around and play on Saturday mornings, or in this case, it's going to be afternoon. It feels like morning because it's not nighttime like usual. What I'm getting at is pretty much for the rest of the way in the season, you're going to have those quick turnarounds. So what do you think was the hopefully learning lesson for the guys?
Well, you hope they figure it out, that it's just, and I've said this to them over and over, I think the gap in Division II basketball is as small as it's ever been. So,
agreed.
I mean, you look at Point Loma, who's top 5, top 10 in every ranking in the nation, and Dominican goes to Point Loma and wins by 20. So on any given night, when we play our best, we can beat anyone. And when we don't, we can be beaten by anyone. So you continue to hammer home that message and hope they figure it out. But the struggle so far with this group is figuring out what motivates them on a consistent basis to really play hard and give it all they got.
What have you guys been working on in this downtime before you get back at it? It's crazy, right? Over a month, you're really going to play like 2 games, which is crazy.
Yeah, no, I think first of all, we've been able to get healthy a little bit. We got some guys banged up and been battling stuff from previous years, previous seasons, and some stuff that's popped up. So it's given us a couple of days to get healthy and get some rest, but really focusing on the defensive end of the ball and then just playing a lot. Still trying to catch up on teams that maybe have more returners and more continuity than we do. So still getting used to each other. So it's been a lot of live action, and actually today was a fun practice. We're in the East Gym, so it's
That's been fun for you and KJ.
Hopefully we're dragging some luck and some things from the good old days onto this new group.
All right, speaking of good old days, you've been out recruiting. Now that you're finally entrenched, it's not, hey, just a new hire, you're catching up with a regular recruiting season. What's it been like spreading the gospel of the Lumberjacks out there?
It's good. I think people are excited, both to have me in the position and that you're in their gyms recruiting their kids. It's still tough because you're waiting on a decision from the NCAA here in a couple of weeks of if this is going to go to 5 years of eligibility or not. So it makes it hard to kind of plan forward and not knowing who's going to be on the roster, who's a senior or a junior, and what that'll look like. So we're a month away from really having any idea of what this deal will look like.
Okay.
And then obviously the portal's the portal, and college basketball is in the state that it's in. So
I mean, are high school kids even getting recruited anymore these days? I mean, obviously, the 5 stars, the blue chips, they're getting looked at by the top schools, but I imagine it's got to be tough. I hear the stories from parents that the opportunities that were there, a lot of them evaporated because 4 years don't even want to waste their time with freshmen.
100%. I think a lot of it is really late now. Like you look at Sebastian, Tyreek, and Eli, all 3 are really quality high school players and will be good college players. And they're available in late June, July, just because everyone's recruiting the portal and wanting older guys. So there's a balance to it. I think, like you said, the really good players are signing early, and then everyone else is kind of having to scrap and wait and see how it plays out. But there's a couple locals I like. Got to see the AIBT this past weekend. So we're in a good spot of knowing and having names. Now it's just waiting for decisions that are out of our hands.
And I guess I didn't realize, because it's been a while since I've been away from Steve Kinder, but just hearing again from the boosters, the fans, how much they love having a Humboldt guy back in the saddle.
Yeah, no, I was excited. I thought our juice and the atmosphere was pretty good on Thursday.
Absolutely.
We did our best to kind of trick it off on Saturday, and
we got to talk to the CC2A about these night games, right? I mean, come on. Come on. These aren't picnics.
Yeah,
this is prime time. I want entertainment, 100%. And the lights are on when it's dark outside.
Yeah, no, and I get it. They're trying to save travel or a night of hotel, but it definitely has a way to.
You're not going anywhere, whether it's 3 o'clock or 7 o'clock out of Arcata.
I agree.
Look, one thing, maybe you're at Hayward. Hayward's got the late game. So anyways, Coach, can you give me a 10-second scouting report for this weekend?
2 teams that play really hard. San Marcos got a new coach as well. So they're physical. They execute at a pretty high level. And then Monterey is playing extremely well. I think they're benefiting from that continuity we talk about, having a lot of guys back. And then they're going to be super juiced up, obviously taking on CV, who's been their assistant for the last 3 years. So
place you used to be at as well.
I spent a year there with TB back in the day. So it's a tough road trip. It's weird going from SoCal to NorCal on the same trip, but we got to finish strong, and it'd be a great way to go on a break with a couple W's.
We could have just done our issues with the NCAA and CC2A. Maybe another show, Coach. You're our guy. We appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by.
No problem.
Back after these messages.
step out here.
Pleasure to be joined by wrestling coach Lennie Zalesky. Coach, as always, appreciate you stopping by and joining us. And I got a busy schedule. All right, SOC, Southern Oregon College, way back in the day. Southern Oregon University now came down, and obviously a tight match came right down to the end. Tell us about your highlights and things maybe you'd won over again.
Yeah, well, I think we wrestled well. We wrestled more aggressive, I think, than we did the previous week. The things that went well, I mean, we beat some kids, 25-pounder, almost teched, and so did 49, and 41 beat a pretty good kid, it looked like. So that's Daryl Dampuya, Jason, and Caleb. And then 33 won a close match, and 65, we bumped up our 57-pounder, and he won. So those were all good things. I think we could have got extra points even at those weights. They were 2 points or 3 points off from a tech, and that would have been a point. We lost by 2. And so both of those guys really were close to teching them. They ended up getting a pin at 84, and I don't think he was that much better, but our guy kind of went for a different move, and it didn't work out.
Rolled the dice and crapped out, which we'll get to Reno.
We'll get ready for
in a second. Hey, football, basketball, refereeing is very controversial and a lot of judgment out. Well, baseball too, ball strikes. How in wrestling, where does obviously the official's huge, but are there a lot of close technical calls or things? Are they pretty cut and dry, right? I mean, if two shoulders are on the ground, it's a pin, but, obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. So, Coach, I'm asking, how important is officiating?
Oh, it's very important. There's so many close calls. Actually, Daryl won because I threw in the brick, but it was such a close.
What's the brick?
The brick, since we're green, you get green and red. It's just a foam deal. You throw it out there saying, I don't agree with your call. And you get 2 of those.
Okay, so like the red flag in football, a review,
Exactly, that's what it'd be like, yeah. And so he reversed the decision, which we were behind by 1, it put us up by 3. So I felt good about that. Yeah. But no, there's so many close calls, and you can't really blame the refs because things happen so fast out there. And they say, the rules are like once the knee hits, well, it looked like once the knee hits, the move happened. And so it's such a judgment call. So many judgment calls. And you got to be in the right position. He could be on the other side. There's a lot that can go on.
With that said, I thought you said something great last time we talked. You said one of the beauty of wrestlers, you guys are all humble, right? Because nobody's going undefeated for their career.
Right. There's always somebody to beat you.
There's always somebody, right? Somebody better than you, no matter what you're doing. So with that said, how tough is it to overcome when you gambled or things didn't go right and boom, next thing you know, you get pinned in the first round?
Yeah. Oh, it's hard. It depends upon the person. They realize. I mean, if you look at it critically and say, hey, I was only getting beat by 2 points and that kid pinned me. And, so next time I wrestle him, they usually do that. Now, if they're getting beat bad and then get pinned, it's hard to come back after that, come off of a win thinking I could beat that kid.
Okay, I was close. Maybe not so much. All right, you're going to Reno this weekend. What can you tell me about, what the Jacks are looking to do with this Sunday event in the Silver City? Yeah,
so this is a crucial tournament in the sense that you can get matches, but at the same time it's crucial because it's a tournament with Oklahoma State was there last year. I mean, some really good teams. And so, you want to send kids get more experience, but at the same time, it's a grinder. There's injuries can happen. And so we're going into the last part of our season. We certainly don't want that. So we'll have to make some, we're making some calls. We're maybe keep a couple guys out because they're kind of banged up right now. But I mean, to place in that is going to be, outstanding because it's mainly a D1 tournament.
So take us through, what does it take to qualify for the regionals? In football, basketball, the team sports, it's basic, right? You win your league or you get ranked at a certain much. But you have a set amount of games and there's a league play schedule. Now in wrestling, is it like track and field where, you can't get a provisional mark because you're wrestling against human beings and not a clock. So to make a long question even longer, Coach, how do you get into the regional?
Well, we have a region that consists of, I think it's 13 teams now with us, and then Vanguard got in. So you have to place in the top 3. And that doesn't sound hard, but the national championship team usually comes out of that region. So
That sounds
Nebraska, yeah. So you're fighting for the top 3 positions, and it's, you know, to get in the top half of that group is pretty tough. To get in the top 3 is tough. I would say, someone said you got, if you get through that, you got about an 80% to 90% chance of being an All-American. So we'll see. We're going out to Colorado right after Reno, so we probably won't talk.
You guys are gonna enjoy that altitude.
Yeah, we're at 8,000 at Gunnison, and we're wrestling 3 of our ranking, you know, teams that'll be there, and so we'll get a pretty good feel. Western's one of them, and they've predominantly been in the top few, and you know, we'll just face 3 tough teams. So, you know, the thing about wrestling, though, at the end of the year, sometimes things just click, and you know, you can get right through there. But you're going to have to be wrestling really well to get through there.
Well, Coach, that's why you guys are tough, and I'm going to wish you the best. I'm so soft. I called a football game once at Gunnison, and I'm still looking for oxygen from that one. Coach, good luck. We'll see you probably on the new year.
Okay, thank you.
There it is, another great edition of Humboldt All-Axess.